Today we're diving straight into it. What is actually happening in Invermere's real estate market right now? There's one trend in the December numbers that really matters, and if you're thinking about buying or selling in 2026, this shift could directly affect your timing and your strategy. So pay attention. If you live in Invermere, own property here, or are watching the market closely, timing matters more than ever before, and definitely more than in the national headlines. Before we break down the key trend emerging right now, let's ground this conversation in exactly where Invermere and the surrounding Kootenay region finished at the end of 2025. Let's start with the Kootenay region, because Invermere is a smaller, lifestyle-driven market that's influenced by regional momentum. In December of 2025, the Kootenay region recorded 153 residential sales, which is up 25.3% compared to December of 2024. Dollar volume reached $81.9 million, up 27.1% year over year. At the same time, active listings declined by 4.3%, meaning demand improved faster than supply heading into year end. Now let's zoom in on Invermere specifically. In December, just one single family home sold with a benchmark price of $762,800. That is up 9.6% year over year. 0 townhouses sold, 0 apartments sold, with benchmark apartment pricing sitting around $390,300, down 1.9% year over year. While the sales count is low, which is normal for Invermere in December, pricing tells a more important story. Despite limited activity, single-family values remain elevated compared to last year, and there's no evidence of forced discounting. Now, this lines up closely to what many people are feeling on the ground in Invermere. Buyers are still interested, especially lifestyle buyers, second home buyers, and those planning long-term holds. But they're not rushing. They're selective, they're patient, and they're comparing options carefully. And they're far more sensitive to value than they were during the previous peak years. Sellers, on the other hand, are cautious. Many don't need to sell, and that's important. Instead of flooding the market, sellers, on the other hand, are more cautious. Many don't need to sell, and that's important. Instead of flooding the market, most sellers are waiting for the right conditions, which keeps inventory from ballooning. That tension is shaping the current market in Invermere. Here's the signal that really matters right now. Across the Kootenay region, sales are rising while inventory is falling, but price growth remains controlled. In Invermere, even with higher benchmark pricing, we're not seeing rapid acceleration or panic buying. That combination suggests something specific. This market is normalizing, not breaking, not tanking. Leverage is slowly rebalancing. Buyers have time, sellers still have equity. And neither side is being forced into emotional decisions, which is exactly what a healthier market looks like. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, this doesn't feel like a strong market, that reaction makes sense. I get it. Mortgage payments are significantly higher than they were just a few years ago. Everyday costs are up. Gas prices are up. Even well-qualified buyers feel stretched compared to the past. And this is what many economists describe as a per capita slowdown. The economy continues moving, but individual households, they feel the pressure, the squeeze. In Invermere, that shows up as fewer impulse purchases and more long-term thinking. Buyers are asking, does this still make sense 5 or 10 years from now? And sellers are asking, is it worth selling or should I just hold on to this? Those are rational questions, and they slow the markets. They slow them down without breaking them. Now, interest rates are no longer climbing aggressively, but they remain elevated compared to what many homeowners locked into between 2020 and 2022. Between now and the end of 2026, a large portion of Canadian mortgages will renew. Even if rates decline, between now and the end of 2026, a large portion of Canadian mortgages will renew. Even if rates decline modestly, many payments will still reset higher than what the owners are used to. And in Invermere, this typically doesn't trigger panic selling. Many homeowners have strong equity positions and treat their properties as long-term lifestyle assets. However, this can create selective listing pressure, especially for owners with multiple properties or variable cash flow. And that's why inventory patterns in 2026 will matter more than interest rate headlines. So if you're a buyer looking to get into the Invermere market, this is a market that rewards patience and preparation. First, make sure your payment works today without relying on future rate cuts. Second, focus on homes that have been sitting on the market longer, especially where sellers are flexible on terms rather than price. Third, think long term. Invermere purchases tend to make sense over a 5 to 10 year horizon, not as shorter flipping moves. You don't need to rush, but you do need to be financially ready when the right property appears. So what should sellers do? Well, I'll tell you what. Sellers, the biggest mistake right now is overpricing. This is not a market where buyers are going to chase your listings upwards. Buyers are informed, conservative, and value driven. Homes that sell in Invermere today are priced realistically and positioned correctly right from the start. If you're considering selling in 2026, strategy will matter more than speed. Preparation, pricing discipline, and patience are what separates successful sales from stale listings. One important thing to remember about Invermere is that it behaves differently than larger urban centers. This market is influenced by lifestyle demand, second home ownership, and long-term holding patterns that will naturally limit volatility. Even when activity slows, prices don't tend to collapse and they flatten. They consolidate and they wait for demand to re-engage. Exactly what the December data reflects. So here's the bottom line for Invermere. The market is cooling into a balance, not sliding backwards, falling off a cliff, or exploding. Prices remain stable, sales activity is selective, and neither buyers nor sellers are under pressure. This is a market that rewards clarity, patience, and long-term thinking, not urgency. If you're planning a move in Invermere in 2026, whether you're buying, selling, or simply deciding what to do next, focus less on the headlines and more on the preparation. Markets like this don't announce opportunity loudly. They reward people who understand the local data, respect the pace, and move with intention when the timing is right. Now, if you want to watch some more of these, if you're looking at another specific town, I'm going to do my best to cover all the Kootenay towns that I can and that I have information and data on. Thank you for watching.